Amigos, we haven't forgotten about this, but we're still recovering. February was such a short, expensive month. We enjoyed it a lot. We are owners of our money and what we do with it. But yeah, things got out of hand. And we were posting this on Instagram, but a lot of things were left out of context. And I hope we don't make it seem like life here in Bosnia is so cheap because it's not getting cheaper. And also, I guess the way we were describing our expenses was, I guess, for people who already follow us for some time and know certain things about our life. Like, for example, wait, before we get into it, are you following us on Instagram? Are you seeing the previous month's expenses? Take a moment to check and do it, yeah. So we can compare now. So we started the year with a lot of events happening, but the cost of life for January wasn't as high. And I guess we're paying for it now in February. And we usually pay our bills after the 10th. That's when salaries come in and so on. And that's why this post usually takes some time so that we can do all the numbers. I thought it's better to do it on this long form to give you more details. There are some factors that contribute to this cost of life that I think are important to highlight before I get into the expenses. One of them being that we are homeowners and we do not pay rent. Thank God. Our apartment is paid for. That is thanks to the hard work from the years of working in the Emirates in Dubai. And that makes a hell of a difference when it comes to our cost of life. So that's a big detail that I think a lot of people were missing out because it's ridiculous if we were not paying rent. I mean, last month we spent 2,607. Okay, let's round it up to 2,600, 2,700 convertible marks, which is about 1,360 euros. Let's say 1,400 euros. Come on, rent here for our apartment. Yeah, that would be like an extra 300 or 400 euros. So a lot of also food that we get comes from our family. So our family works a lot on their land, and we get a lot of goodies like vegetables and eggs and chicken. And they also have good connections with other people who work on their land. So I love this community exchanging of goodies, and we benefit a lot from it. And also, if you've been following us for some time, you know that for this year, that's something we want to get into, to also start helping out in the farm, in the cellar, in the village. And I want to learn more about it. I want Vera to also be part of it, and I think it's a good path to go down on. So that's a huge factor because I think that decreases our groceries expenses a lot. All right, so let's get into the heating situation. There was a bit of commotion in the comment section because people were comparing it to their bills, and I realized that a lot of people use electricity for heating. And I don't know if that's why they're heating. I think that's why. Also, a lot of people were sharing their expenses from Serbia, which I understand is increasing enormously. We use the central heating, which is like the building city heating, and we have uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. We have five heaters, radiators. What are they called? The one where the water goes in. And we only use uno, dos, tres. We use only one here in the living room where the kitchen is as well in the dining space. We only use one. We have two, but we only needed to use the one. Then in our room, but at night, we would decrease it or turn it off. And we use it in Vera's room, and in the bathroom, it's off. And also, we have access to our main, is it a bulb? What is it? In the hallway. So we can choose when to turn it on or off. And whenever we were away on trips, or if we are not going to be here for like 2 days, 3 days, we would turn it off. And there's no heating in the house. So I wonder if this is a common practice here, like to really be mindful of these services. And just doing those little things can actually decrease some expense. So I'm curious to know. And while I am reading out of our documentation, I'm going to do the math over here. So electricity this time was a bit lower, and it was about 48 marks. We do have an AC. We do not use it unless it's really cold and we just bath Vera. So we use it for like 10 minutes just to dry her in here and dress her up, and then that's it. The heating in February probably because it was a shorter month, and also we were not here for, I want to say, 10 days out of the 28 days we were not here. So that's crazy. So the heating this month was 79 marks. Billing expenses 35. So that's like the cleaning and I guess elevator maintenance and yada yada. Wi-Fi is the same, 48. So it's just Wi-Fi, no TV, and we are so happy with the Wi-Fi, honestly. Waste collection is 10. Water is 11. Yeah, so this is quarterly, I think. We pay at once. It comes down to like 11 km per month. Jovan's fixed plan was 48, and I recharged my phone twice this month because we were on trips and I used all my data on the trips. And the cool thing is that I live in Bosnia, but if I go to Serbia and Montenegro, I can use my internet. But I sucked the life out of it. And I charged my phone twice in a 28-day month. Sramota. So that's like 30. And Jovan stopped at the gym, but I tried what it's called Fit Pass, and it's a membership. Um, it's an app that was 70. Dang! This Fit Pass thing, I'm very happy and pleased with, and this is they did not sponsor or pay for my membership, although they could have, as Zini. So it's basically an app that you can sign up for, and it costs the same as a gym membership. So 70 km. I think gym memberships are around that price. And the cool thing is that you have access to most gyms around the city and also the indoor Olympic pool of Banja Luka and some yoga studios and also like some spas at certain hotels. And I don't know, I think it's like a nice diversity of services that you have access to for the same price of just one place. And because I am a person who needs motivation, inspiration, and a lot of energy to go to the gym and not get bored, I thought this would be great to stay curious and try different gyms around the city, especially during this cold month where it's impossible to do anything outdoors. And I'm very happy with it. I loved how it worked. For this price, you can attend gyms 16 times. So you can go to the gym 16 times in 1 month. So that comes down to like 3 or 4 workouts per week. And I think that's cool. As usual, Vera's daycare was 500, but we do get the usual help from the government of 150, so that is 350 that we paid. Although related to daycare, this is where it hurt a little bit, all the medical stuff we had to do this month. It's been a year since Vera is attending that daycare, which we love so much. We are so happy that we chose that place for her to go. It's also very good for me because the directora, she speaks English, and I can have a straightforward, direct, flowy conversation with her about my daughter in a foreign country. And for me, that is priceless. And I will pay anything for that. I'm very happy about that. But because we were renewing the contract with them this month, we would have to do again the usual medical standard checkups, which is standard procedure from the government, to get this to attend daycare. But we went to get some lab tests, and I want to say that was around 50 to 60 marks. So they did we took a sample of her poop, and they did the pinching of the finger to get blood test and also a throat swab. I'm going to say 60. We all went together as a family, but everything went well. If this is not it, I'm going to confirm with Jovan. I will write it in the comments, but it was 60. Yeah. Although it was a short month and we were not here for 1/3 of it, we kept our groceries really low. We went, where are my bills? A very big one for 230 marks. And when it goes over 200, that's when we get all the fish and meat and these one-time purchases like peanut butter. We got olive oil. Let's see what else was like a high. Yeah, we got the blueberries are a bit pricey this time of year, but we need those berries. We also we really like anything like nutty, almonds, hazelnuts. Those are I think I took like a good amount. I'm seeing here like 25 marks of almonds. But we make milk and stuff, so this one is for 230, and then we went another time. Okay, that's not bad. That's like 140. So that is 370 groceries. But we have another grocery when we went on a trip, so we're gonna later. It's adding up. Oof. We did get our chicken, one chicken, and I want to say 36 eggs from our guy. That was 30 marks. Let's say 35. I love him. He doesn't raise his prices. Like everything is going up, but I don't know if it's because we've been his clients for a while, but he cool. No Slavas, no nothing. But we did go on a trip to Sremska Mitrovica in Serbia because we attended a birthday there of our beautiful little friend. Well, we saw his parents, our friends from Dubai, and we attended the first birthday of their son, mi amor. And we spent there for the gift, between the gift and like eating out, and we had a place to stay, but we spent about 150 euros. That's not including gas because we included gas somewhere else. Yeah, so that's like 300 marks for Sremska Mitrovica. Here we go. The gas, we got two full tanks and then we got an extra 50 somewhere in the month. But that's because we went all the way to Sremska Mitrovica and came back. And we went all the way to Budva, Montenegro, and came back. And we took a longer way because we went via Croatia. We did some driving around outside of Dubrovnik. So, and we got some extra gas when we came back because of all the chaos going around the world, specifically in the Middle East. And we knew that the prices are instantly going to go up. So this month we spent 300 km of gas, which is not our usual spend, but we've been around. Oh my God. I'm doing the numbers now with you, amigos. And March is also going. So that trip to Sremska Mitrovica was priceless. I love it. And I will go a million times. And we're going to go a million times because we have more friends coming. So I'm happy to go and see them. Oh my God. You could see my floor now. So yeah, we went on a trip and we went on a trip for 10 days. We drove all the way to Budva where we stayed 7 days. And we stopped in Trebinje as well on our way there. We paid in Trebinje, we paid 42 marks for accommodation. And we spent 55 marks in the supermarket because we stock up a bit before entering Montenegro. So we went to Bingo and we spent 55 just to have the essentials. And when we arrived to Trebinje, we went to this gorgeous restaurant that I love called Studenac, and we ate our faces off because it was a long trip and we only had snacks. And there we spent about 90 marks. And when you spend 90 marks in Bosnia, you know that meal was outstanding. Then, thank God, we had a place to stay in Montenegro, which was beautiful. Please watch this video to see where we stayed because we can't wait to go back. We were at home, so comfortable, so grateful. And we did spend money in Montenegro. And my Dios mío, Montenegro, ¿qué pasó? We spent, we're not sure if 450 or 500 euros. The thing is, we spent this amount of money because we were eating our faces off with like so much seafood. Being so close to the sea, like when we go, we just have to eat seafood. And every time we were eating out, it was like 50, 60 euros. And then supermarket and so on. So yeah, that is, let's say, an extra 900 marks. We already went over January. Montenegro, I got to speak a bit there with people who live there, and they were, telling us about the lifestyle, the cost. Like, interesting, interesting. We had a lovely time. If you want to see how our trip was, check out our other videos. Cannot wait to return because that country is so tiny and it has so much to offer. It was really what this family needed. By the end of February, I was ready to move back to Argentina because this winter was something interesting, but we made it. We're here. Shall we continue or should we stop here? There was really no time to spend money on silly things. Like if I went for coffee twice, that could be a thing. Coffee now is about 3 to 4 marks, guys. Probably Jovan went as well to have his coffee. So let's just add a 30, 40 of miscellaneous expenses. Let's say like if we would go out and buy juice for Vera, at the parks and popcorn. Let's say 50 of like miscellaneous expenses, but we were not really here. All right, so at this point we are at 2,931 marks, and here is where it gets just because I went to the doctor, if you recall, around November. I was doing checkups and yada yada, and the expenses then were high because of that. Oh my God, I spent so much money that month. in doctors. And now it's like the 3 months after that I would have to go back and do my checkup. So I went to do blood tests again after I had followed my vitamins and yeah, what was recommended from the doctor. And I did specific lab work that costed 90 km. I checked like my allergies, I want to say stamina. I did a hormonal checkup, thyroids, and all that beautiful stuff that we ladies get to do. That was 90 marks, plus my doctor's consultation, who I love very much. She's an endocrinologist. She's an endocrinologist. She speaks English, so I do have my, set of doctors here and there, and I will pay for language proficiency or communication. So that was 40. Later, I spent at the pharmacy, and this is going to be a recurrent monthly expense. Mis vitaminas, por Dios. They are, the hormone therapy. I was very low on iron, so I bought these strong iron tablets that I later replaced with copriva, which is an herb that is meant to also be really high on iron. So I'm trying to take other alternatives, also suggested by the doctor. But those iron tablets were expensive, like 30 km. My vitamin D and other supplements. So I spent around 100 to 120 in vitamins and supplements, like in this new therapy thing that I'm doing for the next month. Oh my God. So we are talking about 130, the consultation and the lab work, plus 100, 120 of vitamins. That is about 250 marks. So that is a total of, for the month of February. Dang. These are not recurrent monthly expenses, so we need to calm down. But seeing it all together, it's a high number, but it was well spent. So that's what we are working for. And I love that we know where money goes. This was something that I didn't like before, that just, we're working, we have money, but we don't know where it's going. And when we keep track of this and at the end of the month, we see, I love it. It gives me a peace of mind. It makes me also like, there were 2 trips here, so come on. But also what's helping us is to kind of plan in advance for the next 2 months. What are some events that we're going to have to attend? For example, now we are in March and we had 2 birthdays already, and my visa renovation. We are going to go to Sarajevo to see Zdravko Cholic as well. We have a meetup with the Snaika Club. So it's good to know what's going to happen in the next month or the next 2 months. And then I guess you can organize budgets like that. And let's see what's going to happen with the prices here. We've only seen it, I want to say in the gas, but Jovan, before he went on a trip, he went to get a haircut and came back slightly upset because they raised the price for his haircut, I think 2 months ago at the beginning of the year. Now again. So yeah, things are going up, and I don't know if we're not realizing it or what, but so now we are thinking about getting a trimmer, and I'm gonna do his hair. Maybe like alternating these things, Why spend money in a haircut if it's a skill that we can learn and do at home, and then spend the money somewhere else? I don't know if you get my vibe. So yes, I hope this helps. We're looking into creating a more complex video about cost of life here. So if there are any particular questions you have, please let us know. Thanks for watching. Reach out here, email, Instagram. We're here to help and answer any questions. Gracias y nos vemos pronto. Chao.